afternoon, Waterbed.
Andrew, hey, it's Nick and Brendon.
Hey.
How's it going?
Okay, what's up?
We're just calling to check in to see if we helped you sell any waterbeds over the past couple of weeks.
No.
Nothing. We're doing everything we can over here. We just want you to know that.
I understand that.
We're gonna get you. Well, we're gonna sell. We're gonna work it out. You're gonna be there. You'll still be around after Thanksgiving, you think?
Maybe after Thanksgiving, if things, Listen, I just had another, not an epiphany, but just realization. Probably what you guys already know is that, obviously people are not interested in flotation because they don't hear about it and they've pretty much forgotten about it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, there was this NPR thing on today that just had to do with the psychology of, it was like 1984 and Brave New World kind of psychology. How the whole concept is
like groupthink or whatever.
Well, give people simple, happy thoughts, and then they just go along.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon, you're just like the sheep. You're just going along. I'm confident that that's what's happened with flotation, but it's, the fact that it's complicated by the negative profitability of being able to deliver the product for, people that sell it out of brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that people that are selling Tempur-Pedic or Posturepedic or Beauty Rest or stuff like that. I mean, untrained people can deliver that. You're both qualified to do that.
Yeah.
But it takes you 5 minutes, even being unqualified, to make that delivery. For water, it takes a couple of hours to do a delivery, and you have to have at least some minimal training to do it.
So we'd probably have to, if somebody bought like in California, we would have to probably fly you out to help install.
I tell people that I will do that, but I only fly first class.
Okay. Well,
I'm teasing with you.
We did call a fish store.
We called a fish store to find out what we would need to put a shark in a waterbed, but that doesn't really. Yeah. That's not.
Putting a shark in a waterbed is the kind of thing that would probably pique interest, certainly pique a click or two on the American mentality, so to speak.
Publicity stuff.
Point of interest. Yeah.
Well, we're working hard. We're gonna sell a waterbed for you. We'll be back in touch. We'll check in with you next week, and we're promoting it. We're gonna sell you at least one waterbed before Thanksgiving.
Let me give you another thought.
Okay.
Here, and this is just because I've experienced this for decades, and when I have another thought come in, I have a lot of forgiveness for the public, and they're not caring about the product because they have been overpowered by marketing, and these guys are a lot smarter than we like to give them credit for. The people that I'm kind of have my axe to grudge with is the medical community.
Yes.
The medical community, because of my experience with my own grandfather and my father. My grandfather died in '87. He was sleeping on water, and I got a soft-side waterbed put into his rehab facility.
Okay.
He slept on it for 6 months and never got a pressure sore.
Wow.
My dad was sleeping on water. He broke his leg, got put on a sophisticated air-type hospital bed, and that was, they put it in his apartment. Hospice was kind of working with that. Anyway, but he got pressure sores, began getting pressure sores within 2 weeks of when he got put on that sophisticated piece of equipment. And so the bottom line is that my dad ended up living to be 102, but his last 9 months of life were way more miserable than they had to be because
of the hospital.
They decided that he had that they decided that he couldn't be on water, and I was not strong enough. You know, I blame myself for not really being a pain in the ass. You know, I slept on his waterbed in the other room, and I never, you know, I let him sleep in the living room on that piece of shit, and I feel badly about it personally.
Well, you can't beat yourself up over it now.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying, I'm telling you about it, that I got the product back in the 80s, and I didn't even really try real hard for a bed for my dad. And I don't, it's just, it's the way it is. But I'm just sharing that experience that had a quadriplegic call a few years ago, and he made a statement that stuck in my head. It says that Christopher Reeves would still be alive if he had been sleeping on water.
Huh.
You know who that is, right?
Yeah, Superman. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know why he died, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know what the final.
Decubitus ulcer, a bed sore that went septic and got into his system and killed him.
Oh, no kidding! I didn't know that was it. I thought maybe he drowned in his fluids or something. No. Oh boy.
No. Well, obviously, he fell off got thrown from a horse and broke his neck. That was the start.
Mm-hmm.
But the end was because of a bed sore that went what they call septic or something like that. You know, when it actually gets into your bloodstream.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's
so I appreciate what y'all are doing. Like, y'all gave me a ray of hope a few months ago when we first talked, and
it's not over yet.
You're working on it.
It's not over yet, and that's every time we talk to you, we get more information. That's another selling point for anybody who has ailing parents, losing mobility. Get them a waterbed. We're going to sell a couple beds before Thanksgiving, I hope. We're working on it. Oh, what happened? You there? Hello? I don't know what happened. That wasn't me. So, well, Nick's totally checked out. He's fucking playing with his phone over there. So I guess that's the end of the podcast.